That'd make good soup.
That would make good soup. Now that was the phrase uttered over every Thanksgiving turkey carcass to pass through my family's kitchen for as long as I can remember. It came to be known as the soup blessing, and it usually happened right before the remains were dumped unceremoniously into the garbage. Which is a pity because it's true. Now there's still a good meal left in this bird. All you need to get it out is a large pot and a lazy afternoon. Hi, I'm Jessica Brevoort, and this is Kitchen Table Productions, a show all about living well with low carb. And today we are making turkey soup. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is make a stock from our leftover turkey carcass. Now if you're planning on soup from your turkey, don't worry about getting every little bit of meat off the bone. As you can see here, I haven't even bothered stripping the wings. A lot of good flavor is going to come from that meat. If you need to, go ahead and break up your turkey so it can fit in the pot. I know I need to. I'm also going to add the neck of the turkey that I pulled out of the turkey before I roasted it. A lot of good flavor is going to come from all this meat. Stock pots are great for this, that's what they're for after all, but if you don't have a stock pot, don't worry, just pick out your biggest pot, get those bones in there. Now there's no reason not to add some flavor in here as well, so I'm going to add to this 3 stalks of celery. I've just kind of cleaned them and trimmed them. 3 whole carrots, again I just kind of cleaned them off. A quarter apple, your favorite flavor. I removed the seeds, but otherwise it's pretty much intact. And a quarter of an onion. I'm also going to add to this about a teaspoon of peppercorns. Okay, now that I've got all my flavorings in there, I'm going to fill this pot with cold water, and that's very important. And you want to fill it up so it comes at least about 2 inches above the level of your food. Now if your vegetables and fruits float, that's fine, as long as you get that meat under the water. Now I'm going to take my pot, I'm going to put it over medium heat until it starts to come up to just under a boil. This might take a while if you have a large pot like mine. Alright, now that this has come up to a bare boil, you can just see some of the bubbles occasionally breaking through. I'm going to turn this all the way down to low, because I just need to keep it going at a bare simmer. Now as for this scum that forms on top, it usually happens mostly within the first hour. I'm just going to skim this off. Now I want to cook this for about 6 hours. That's most of a good afternoon. Now, if the level of the liquid drops low enough to uncover the bones, I'll heat up this kettle. I've got it sitting right back here. I'll heat that up and just add it to bring the liquid level back up to cover the bones again. I'm also going to cover this just because it helps keep the evaporation down. There, my 6 hours is up. The bones, meat, veggies, they've given their all. I'm going to fish out the larger pieces with my spider. I'm going to strain this, you see, and I want to see how big a vessel I'm going to need. If necessary, I can continue to boil this and reduce the liquid down until the amount is manageable. Okay, now I have here my largest bowl. It's filled with ice water. Inside that I have my second largest bowl. Inside of that, I have my colander. And inside my colander I have some cheesecloth. This is just going to help me strain all those little bits out of my broth. This is a rather large pot, so I'm going to transfer it into a smaller container first. Now the whole point of having the ice water is I want to cool this down very quickly. Bacteria love stock. It's full of all sorts of nutrients and proteins. So you really have to try to get it cooled down quickly if you can. Okay, my stock is cooling off nicely, so I'm actually going to store it in my fridge. I've got a nice 2-quart container here, and I've got a lid for it. Now I'm going to actually have several of these because I've got quite a bit of stock. Alright, now here's my stock. It's been sitting overnight in my fridge, and this cloudy stuff on top is actually all the fat. So I'm just going to skim that off. Not that I'm particularly afraid of fat, but I like to control it. Alright, now as for the rest of this, see how it's all nice and wiggly and jiggly in there like a great big bowl of turkey jello? That's what you want. That's the body that a stock gives you. You can only get this with boiling those turkey bones. Now the problem I have now is that I've got 6 quarts of turkey stock, but I actually only need about 2 for my soup. The other gallon I'm actually going to move into long-term storage, and I'm going to do that, rather than making one great big turkey sickle, is I'm going to put it in my ice cube trays like this. This will make it a lot easier to be able to go and get out, oh, you know, half a cup, whatever I need. I'm just going to move this into my freezer, freeze it till it's solid, then I'll put it into a large Ziploc bag and mark it with the date that I made the stock. I'm actually going to have to do this several times to get all my stock frozen. Alright, now I'm starting my soup here with about 2 quarts of that stock that I created. It's still kind of in the jello stage since it was just came from my refrigerator. I'm just going to turn this on high, bring it up to a full boil, and let it boil for at least 2 minutes before I add anything else. Alright, that looks like it's up at a good rolling boil now. I'm going to add in my vegetables. I've picked 3 stalks of celery that I've just kind of sliced up, and 2 carrots that I've cubed in kind of smallish pieces. There we go. Now I'm going to turn my heat here back down to probably about medium-low. I don't need it to have that full rolling boil anymore, but I do need those vegetables to start cooking. You could use any sort of low-carb vegetables you want. Green beans would work well, broccoli, cauliflower, mushrooms. Those would all make great soup. Anything that you just kind of feel like you want, go ahead and throw that on in there. Just avoid any sort of starchy vegetables. Those aren't so good for us low-carbers. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. My soup is almost ready. Now's about the time I'm going to give this a taste for seasoning. It's not bad. It could use a little bit of salt, so I'm going to put in about a pinch or 2 here of salt. It's always a good idea to wait till the end before you salt it. I'm also just going to give this a few grinds of black pepper. That's looking good. I've got a few final ingredients to add here. This is about a cup of the diced turkey left over from the turkey that I made this from. Just put all that right on in. It's already cooked, so it really just kind of needs to warm up a little bit. Now I could throw in a handful of low-carb pasta and cook it to the package instructions. The only problem I have with that is that, one, if you overcook it, you'll release all the carbs in that pasta, and it'll be much higher carb than you really want it to be. And the other thing is, of course, you wouldn't be able to eat any leftovers. You'd have to rely on other people for that. Here's actually what I would recommend instead. Get your low-carb pasta, have it pre-cooked. This happens to be some leftover spaghetti. I just cut it into about rice-sized pieces here. Then all you have to do is take your hot soup, just like this, pour it right on in. That is one fabulous chicken with noodles, carrots, and celery soup. And this way, of course, I still have all the rest of this pot that I can eat. What do you think?
That's good soup.
All right, there we go. 4 out of 4 Brevoorts agree.
Not
This
bad.
is some good turkey soup.
It's genuinely good.
I told you. You wouldn't believe me, did you?
Also, I haven't eaten anything today, so
Oh, there you go.
it's extra specially good.
Yeah, it's good soup, let me tell you. Well, that was the turkey soup. Now, as you can see, it wasn't really very hard at all. Sure, it's a little time-consuming making up the stock, but believe me, it is well worth the time. That stock makes the soup so rich and delicious. Well, for this recipe and many others, please visit my website, kitchentableproductions.net. I'm Jessica Brevoort, and this has been Kitchen Table Productions.